Hey everyone, my name is Chris Webb, and I am wanting to share with you something that I think is going to be extremely important for everybody in the network marketing space. So, a little bit about my background. My wife and I, we've been in the network marketing space for a little over 10 years. And I truly believe that I've grown a lot. I've learned and understood some different skill sets, what works, what doesn't work, and what's changed over the years. And I think that's super important is what's changed and what's important now when talking to other people. So I believe that there are two camps when it comes to network marketing skills or messaging skills or reaching out to people skills, having conversation skills. How do we build relationships or start conversations so that we can introduce our product or our service or our company or whatever it might be? So if you are in the space, then you want to do something along those lines. And so the two different camps that I believe, and I'm going to go extreme by calling them two, because I think we all fall into or have fallen into one of these two camps. And one is, tell me all the things and I'm going to do it, right? So what do I say? How do I say it? When do I send it? When do I say it? Tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. And then the other one is, tell me what to do, tell me all the things, and I'll consider doing it. I'll think about it. If it's way too far outside of my comfort zone, I'm probably not going to do it. And though we might not say that verbally out loud or to, especially to our support line, typically with our support line, we say, tell me all the things. Like, I want to sign up for that class. I want to learn the skills. What do I say? And then we either do it or we don't. Those are the two camps, the doers and the don'ters. And that's not to shame the don'ters. I was a don'ter for a long time. It's not to shame the don'ters. I think what's important is that we create an awareness of why we are don'ters, why we are in that camp of, okay, I know what to do. However, I'm not doing it. What is the reason why? And a lot of it comes down to fear. And some people have some mixed thoughts about what fear means. And it's not like, oh, I'm so scared. More along the lines of, if I say something or if I do what was, the instructions that were given to me, like just send this message, just say this, that I'm going to be perceived a certain way. So there's a fear around perception from other people and perception about ourselves. Typically, when we sign up for this business and this industry, we're not saying, I want to go out there and bug all my friends and family and be this pushy salesman and all of these things. And one of two things happens. Either we become that person or we don't do anything at all, right? There's those two scenarios, or we learn some skill sets so that we avoid those two scenarios and actually take action towards building our business, helping other people, and creating a lifestyle that we're looking for. So I'm going to get right to it here. This triggered me. What this says, if you can't read it, I think you should. Hopefully you can read it. What if people wanted you to message them? What if they wanted that, right? Like, who would agree? And if you're watching this on YouTube, drop in the comments below. Like, would that be a game changer? Because I think the biggest fear is the messaging, right? If we're talking about online marketing, the message, or even if you're reaching out a text or a message to meet in person, right? It's that fear initially, like, what if I'm bugging them? What if they say no? What if they don't want me to message them? But what if they did? What if they did want you to message them? That's what I want to talk about. We just had a call last night. We have this promotion going on in our company, and there's someone who is really good at sharing the skill sets of what to say. And I'm listening to this call last night, and I'm like, this is really good. She has great information. However, I know that there's a lot of people on the call, probably the majority of people on the call, that are taking notes, and will not send any of those messages in fear of everything that we just talked about, right? So I feel like we would send those messages if we knew that who we were sending them to wanted us to send it, right? Wouldn't you agree? So how do we do that, right? What is, yeah, that would be great, Chris. Awesome. Thank you. Of course, that would be great. I'd be able to build this big business. Okay, so just reverse engineering it, right? We know if you've been in this industry for any length of time, doesn't matter. If you've had any conversations with anybody about your product, your service, your company, whatever you are representing, you're talking to two different kinds of people, those that are interested and those that are not. And how many times do we talk to people who are not interested, but we continue, or we try to convince? And sometimes that's, a lot of times that is our initial conversations, which might be our friends and family. And our friends and family do not know you or me as some professional business entrepreneur, or let's say a scientist representing your product, or a specialist representing your service, or whatever it is. They don't know you as that. They know you as a person scratching by and looking for different opportunities, maybe, or a person that works 9 to 5, or a person that's maybe a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, or that's what they know you as. So if we come off and start talking to them about what we're representing, if they're like, oh yeah, right, guess what? They're not interested. They're not interested. So developing the skill set of what to say and how to say it and all those things means jack nothing. It means nothing for those people. So let's talk about the people who want to hear it. The people who want to hear it. The people who want to hear your message. People who want to hear about your product, your service, your company, right? It's very important if we're just starting off here, and I believe that the majority of people who are watching this right now are probably, I'm gonna guess, are going to be newer to the industry, newer to getting out in front of people, newer to having conversations, maybe have felt a lot of rejection. And so I'm hoping that this video helps. And I'm hoping that you leave a comment below and just let me know. Yes, no, maybe you should have talked about this. Maybe you should have talked about that, whatever it is. I'm a big boy, I can handle it, put it in the comments. So typically, like, I'll tell our new business partners that your friends and family, for the most part, typically in the beginning, are going to be your first line of defense. A lot of times they feel like they're looking out for you, and they'll tell you, hey, that's not going to work. What are you thinking? Who do you think you are? They'll laugh at you, or they'll try to protect you and try to keep you here, as opposed to your support line, which is saying, or trying to get you here, and you have friends and family trying to get you, keep you down here, right? That's typically, not everybody, that's typically the way that works. If you have very supportive family and friends, awesome, awesome. You got a leg up out of the beginning than the majority of people. However, just know that even though you do, when you bring in new business partners, most likely their friends and family are going to shit on their drink. So know who you're talking to. Do not send messages, invites, product videos, service videos, company videos to people who are not interested, right? So what does that mean? That means we have to find out who is interested, who's interested, who wants to know, right? Who wants to know? And I think it's very simple. And this is what I try to, well, it's not what I try to, this is why I try to do it more than I think I am. Like, I need to, right? I need to do this more, so I'm trying to do it more. And hence this video, right, is here as well. So even in our team, I try to share the importance of this. And this is what I call it. Create interest lists. Now, most of the time when people see this word list, they think, okay, make a list of 100 people that you know and blah, 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 and reach out to all of them. That might work. I've done it. Does it work well? No. Is it arduous? Yes. Do you get a lot of rejection? Yes. Does it work? Yes. Right? Everything works. However, you're going to have different percentages of rejection depending on what you do. Reaching out to people who want you to reach out to them, you are going to have a very low, if not zero, rejection. Right? Now, would we all agree that that would be badass? Yes, of course, right? Of course. So how do we create these interest lists? And I use social media for this. Very simple. So it's going to come from, I'm going to say it's going to come from past and asked. Past and asked. So what I mean by that is, let's say you have been with your company for a while and you've sold, let's use some products or some services, right? You have some customers, okay? You have customers. Now, customers obviously are interested in your product or service. So reaching out to them and saying, hey, if there was a way that I could let you know every time that there is either a new product technology flavor, new service plan, new promotion, new sale, new anything at all, would you want me to text you with that information? What percentage is going to say yes? A higher percentage, right? So past is easy, right? Past is easy. Now, what about asked? So what that means is, let's say you're sharing your product either in person or online, and you're going to have two different ways, two different types of people here, right? So people who have asked, meaning that, like, let's say you shared something with somebody online. Let's say you put a post out there. People said, hey, what is that? Maybe you had a conversation and they weren't ready, right? They've asked, but they didn't buy. They didn't do anything with it. Reaching out to them with the same message. Hey, I know that you had asked some questions about this in the past, and I know right now is not your time and totally cool. However, if there was a way that I can let you know of, any new sales, because you're going to have different objections, right? And this isn't how to overcome objections. I think people are grown-ass adults and they can make decisions for themselves. If you provide the best information and you are a good person, they're going to go to you, okay? I let people do that. So if they've asked about your product, service, company, hit them with a message. Hey, if there was a way that I can let you know about any new promotions, any new technology drops, flavor drops, any promotions, any big sales, any kind of events in your area, anything like that, whatever your language is, would you want me to let you know? How many of them are going to say, no? Probably very few. How many of them are going to say, sure, sure, right? So now you have the past and the ask, and now you have a list of people. Whenever your company has a new flavor, a new technology, a new service plan, a new whatever, something new, hopefully you're with a company that doesn't just sell the same thing over and over again. If you are, I'm sorry, that's going to be a little bit harder. But if you're with a company, like our company is always bringing out new technology, new flavors, new promotions, new something, because it helps with the conversation. It helps with this. If your company doesn't do that, you as the business owner need to figure out a way to put a new spin on something, right? A new way to look at it, I don't know if you guys do coupons, discount codes, point systems, whatever it is, you have to be the one who creates some excitement in some way if your company's not doing it. Now, if you're just testing out companies, I would test that out. That's something I would seriously ask myself. Is my company exciting? Like, are people excited for new things in the company? Or is this fucking hard? This suck, right? I mean, there's no reason why anyone should be in a company where you don't feel good and you don't love what you're doing and you don't love your product, your service, your promotions, your events, your trips. Like, if you don't love all of that, go somewhere else. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you align yourself with a company that you could be excited about everything that's happening, what you're doing, where you're going, vision, mission, all of that, right? Enough of that. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, like our company, once a month, at the minimum, we have something. I would say almost every week we have something that we can spark a conversation about. We can spark a conversation. So this right here, what if people wanted you to message them, would pertain to like what we're doing, for example, new flavor drop. you can learn how to message exactly all the people who have purchased in the past, message exactly what do I say because they said something over here. And I've done that. You can do that. However, if you were to hit everybody from the past and everybody who's ever asked, and you created one list, anytime your company drops something new, you can hit that whole list at once. You could use a service like Project Broadcast, or you can, what I did at first is just text, not message, text. When someone says, yes, perfect, I'll put you on my text list, what's your number? If you're talking to them through Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or some other way other than text, if you don't have their phone number, because there's a higher percentage of people, I think it's, I don't know, how would you say that? People have more of a tendency to open their text message before an app message, if that makes sense, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, right? So, cool. What's your number? I'll put you on my text list. New flavor drop. Copy, paste. If it's a like Project Broadcast, you just only have to do it once. Boom, it goes out to everybody. Now, if you have 5 people, 10 people, I'm not gonna say only because some people don't have that, right? That's awesome. 5, 10 people, you do not need to pay for a service to send a Project Broadcast out. If it takes you more time than you have to message everyone, then you might want to pay for it. That's up to you. That's what your time is worth, okay? So this right here is what I was thinking about when I was on a call. So this is what I want you to do. Now take yourself back to the call maybe that you were on, the last call that you were ever on, when somebody was sharing with you what to say to people or how to message people when the company does the fill in the blank, does whatever, right? And you take notes like crazy. Or does that trigger you and go, fuck it, you know what I need to do? I need to message everyone from my past and everyone who's asked and put them on an interest list. If there was a way that I could get you the information of whenever it comes out, would you want me to notify you? Yes, boom, build your list. Now, we don't have to have that fear. What stops people? Fear. It's exactly what I talked about in the beginning. Fear is what stops people. What are they going to think? What are they going to think? Now, these people want you to. They've already said, yes, message me. Yes, message me. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to send those messages. They're going to say thank you. Or you know how they're going to say thank you? Bing, you're going to get a notification on your phone that they ordered. That's a thank you. Now you can actually thank them. Thank you for your business. Thank you for your business. If you owned a store and someone walked in and they purchased something from you, when they're leaving, would you just ignore them? Or would you say, hey, thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else I can do for you? Any questions? You good? Right? Okay. Does this help? Does this add value at all? Please put it in the comments. Please let me know. Let me know what else you would like to share. This right here is obviously not how to recruit more people, recruit more business partners, recruit more customers. Now you could, because people who asked, they might become new customers, right? Because you're sending them now the information. And hopefully it's good information. Like we get information sent to us about what the company's doing. I take that information, I put it in, I use Project Broadcast, and it shoots out to everyone. I didn't have to get super creative. Our company has that. So I can copy, paste. If I want to change the wording, I can. I can even personalize their names in there. If I wanted to, do I need to? For the most part, usually no. Usually no, because they've already said, hey, just send me the information. Okay, so I hope that that helps. Now, I want to share about bringing in new business partners, but I don't think it's going to pertain to this, and I don't want to mess with this. Okay, so if you guys could use this, if you feel like this could be something that you could implement into your business, comment below, let me know. And then if you don't mind, just let me know in the comments also what you're struggling with, right? So please do me this favor. Tell me what you think about this first, and then tell me in a separate comment what you're struggling with. Okay, what would you like to hear? So like I said, I've been doing this now in this space. My wife and I, both of us, have been in this space for over 10 years. And there's a lot of times that I forget what it's like to be brand new. What it's like to be brand new. There's a lot of fear and struggle with new conversations, with overcoming worthiness, right? Look at, you're worth the work. You are. And a lot of this, here, I'll end with this. We know who Ed Milet is. He was at one of our events and he said something that stood out to everybody in the audience. And so many people have put this on repeat. And that is, he said that we are most qualified to help those who we used to be. We are most qualified, you are most qualified to help who you used to be. Okay, so what's really important about that, like people are like, oh my gosh, that's powerful. Oh, that's powerful. It is, if you used to be somebody. That doesn't mean like, well, I wasn't somebody in the past. And that's not what I mean. What I mean is, have you changed because of your company, your business, what you're representing, what you're doing? Have you changed? Who you used to be. I was the person who was struggling financially. I was the person who was struggling with weight loss. I was the person struggling with sleep. I was the person who was struggling with bills. I was the person who was struggling with not being able to travel. I was the person who was struggling with whatever you were struggling with. And now, this is what I'm doing to help with that. This is who I'm becoming. And who I'm becoming is most qualified to help those who I used to be. And where a lot of this gets lost is those who are not changing, those who are not maybe using their product or using their mindset, their growth. They're not using their events to grow and become someone different so that they can help those who they used to be. Super powerful, you guys. I hope that that resonates with you. So mindset in the beginning is huge on this, because there's so many times when we think about, I want to help people achieve, great, but let's start with what we're doing right now currently. Like, what have you done? If you want to share your company and you're able to go out and buy a new eraser and your company is paying for it, you can post that. Thank you, company. Thank you, opportunity. Thank you, whatever. I'm able to go buy this new eraser, right? Not saying making financial claims. We know we can't do that, but you know what I mean, right? Like, share the things. Don't feel like you need to win big in order to sell people on joining your company. Most people don't believe they can win big. Most people, the stories of all of this success is a bunch of hype and BS, and most people don't want it. They don't want to hear that, I mean. Now, if you told them that, hey, they might be able to get some, you know, a life vest financially, right? Or some light at the end of the tunnel, or a little bit of this or a little bit of that, or maybe you can feel a little bit better, and or maybe whatever it might be, and whatever you're doing, right? Share that. It's those little things, it's those little steps that most people can take, that most people believe they can take. If we're waiting to win financially before we ever share how to win financially, we will never win financially. You can't sit in front of an empty fire pit waiting to get heat with the logs right here. We have to put them in first, right? Put them in first. That's how we get the heat. We can't do it backwards. Make sense? So, let's see if I missed anything. All right. All right, guys. I hope that that helped. I'm just going to wrap right here. Again, please, please, please drop a comment down below. Give me some feedback on if this helped. What if people wanted you to message them? And take this and start applying it all over the place. Interest lists. Who's interested? I'm only talking to interested people. Your company probably is global. Probably. Most companies are getting that way now if you're with a good company, right? So that means there's billions of people out there. We don't need everybody. We only need a few interested people. And if you want to build a big business, you really only need a few very ambitious business partners. And if you were doing this, there's a level of ambition right here. And you're being professional about it. You're not being salesy. You're not being backdoor conversations. Hey, girl, kids are looking great and you haven't talked to her in 3 years. Like, come on. Like, enough of that. Enough of that, right? Just be professional. Hey, it might not be for you. That's cool. I know you had asked about it. Just be unshakable, meaning that whatever they say is not going to change your state. Whatever they say isn't going to change your state. No, I'm not interested. Cool, no problem. I just want to make sure you knew. Not changing my state, not changing my outcome in life. Yes, I'm interested. Put me down. Cool, I'll put you on the list. What's your text? Not changing my state. I'm confident in what I'm doing. I'm sharing it with you. You're either interested or not. I need to know what category to put you in so that I know who to talk to and how to talk to you in the future. All right, guys. I hope that